Welcome, everyone, to episode 21 of HabsCast with your host, Rick Springhetti, and the man himself, Grant McCagg. Grant, any thoughts of the day, as I always like to
Yeah.
ask you?
Oh, geez, I forgot the intro. Hey, it's a great day to talk hockey. Yeah.
Thanks for the reminder.
Yeah.
It is indeed a great day to talk hockey, although the Habs did not pull a win. It's disappointing, it's hurtful, it's horrible on a preseason game that means nothing, but hey, still awful.
Well,
No,
just
no, really.
sorry, it was just so boring. That was the boring
I
game.
uh, I described the game as having the spiciness of white toast with a bit of margarine and a glass of lukewarm water.
Yeah, yeah. When Joe Valeno's your most exciting player, it's been a real banger. Yeah.
He did play well, though. It's not his fault the game was boring, but Joe did well. But oh, listen,
Yeah, go ahead.
it's a preseason game where I think it's obvious that the players were just thinking, let's get the season started without any injuries, without any issues, without any kind of problems. They played it safe. And the guys who didn't play it as safe maybe stood out more because they're trying to win a job here in Montreal. And again, Joe Valeno did really well. Grant, you were going to talk about him a little bit. Tell me what did you think of his game last
Yeah.
night?
Well, he's continued what he's done all preseason.
Mhm.
He's played hard. He's competed. I've liked his skating. He's had a nonstop motor. I think he
Mhm.
got himself into really good shape this summer, and
Mhm.
it shows out there. I think he's a little quicker off the mark, and yeah, you know, uh, I suppose because he hasn't scored a lot of goals, since his junior career, during his junior career, that he's always been more of a pass first guy, but it was a little frustrating last night that there were a couple of times when the, the obvious option was to shoot. He had a great opportunity, and the defenseman was cutting off the passing lane, and he still tried to pass it anyways. And it's just you can tell that his first inclination is to pass the puck and not shoot, and it's too bad that he didn't shoot because he might have had a goal.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
it wouldn't have hurt his chances of maybe being in the lineup the first night. A lot will depend. Well, it'll all depend on whether Bolduc, I guess, plays against Toronto. Hopefully, this day-to-day thing is just a day-to-day. It doesn't become a week-to-week.
Mhm. I also hope that if it is a day-to-day thing, they really take the time because, as you said at the last episode, he hasn't really stood out too much at camp so far in any way. And if it takes him a
No,
week to get really back into the Baldock we've seen last year, let's make that happen and let's just be a little patient, right?
yeah, right. It's been pointed out to me that I guess he gets off to slow starts statistically as a rule, but
Uh,
we certainly haven't seen a lot of puck touches from him, and nor that big cannon of a shot that he's got. He hasn't really had many scoring opportunities in the games that he's played so far. But I did like his play away from the puck in the last game he played. I think that's one of the reasons they picked him up is he can provide some size, uh, some physicality, and decent play away from the puck. In a lot of ways, I think he's similar to Heineman,
mhm.
uh, but maybe they're hoping a step up from Heineman. So a better version of Heineman to kind of replace what they had to trade away to help get Dobson.
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it, I think, and also to just to get back also at Valeno, I think there's an adaptation that he's making to simplify his game maybe and it's still those old instincts of being a bit more of a playmaker are coming back, but I think in the NHL he's realizing that being a playmaker may not be his game. He's going to have to play up and down, get shots off, and play some good defense. And we saw that yesterday on that play in the first period where he really blocked a shot for Montalvo, and and prevented a goal, and that was a big plus for the team. That really is the kind of thing that his teammates probably reacted really well to. So
True.
that's what the preseason too is. Maybe a chance to rediscover your game and try to play differently than maybe you've played all your life. And it's not in a new organization. Maybe it's a time for Valeno to do that, to become a different guy than maybe he was thinking he was going to be in the NHL.
Yeah, right. He's had to adapt his game somewhat, like a lot of guys who are phenoms when they're younger and dominate minor hockey, uh, and in his case, be an exceptional player status from the Q. Um, you get to the NHL, you're a first round pick, albeit a late one, and all of a sudden, that production that you always had uh, is more difficult, and you have to adapt your game and try to become more of a defensive player. Like Guy Carbonneau is a great example of that. He was, I don't know, almost a 200-point scorer in junior,
Yeah.
and you would have never thought that he'd become one of the best defensive centers of all time at the NHL level. But he realized, hey, if I want to make it, I'm gonna have to, I'm gonna have to change my game here and adapt. And boy, he certainly did that. And hey, Valeno's mid-20s. It's certainly not too late for him to adapt his game or continue to adapt his game. And what I've liked with Dvorak and Armia leaving the organization, there are spots there that need to be filled on the penalty kill. And Marty's given a bunch of people auditions in the preseason. Beck got a lot of PK. Valeno got PK. Um, Kapanen a little bit. Kapanen can play PK. They've tried a few different guys in that. Bolduc, obviously, I think they hope that he can become a penalty killer as well down the road. So they're searching for those replacements for the two guys. It's one of the bigger holes that they have to fill from last
Yes,
year
I
is
agree.
trying to replace those two guys on the PK.
Also, one of the guys that I think a lot of people were very curious about as the training camp started and what was going to happen was Kirby Dach. And there was a lot of concern about, will he be able to start the season? Is he an option as a second line center anymore? Should we? A lot of people have, some people, not I wouldn't say a lot, but some people have pretty much written him off and say, forget about Kirby Dach. He's never going to be anything much in the NHL. What do you think of his camp so far, Grant?
All it takes is a game or two, eh? And people can be a little reactionary. Have fan world. uh,
No.
yeah. Well, even the first couple of games there,
Yeah.
I wasn't crazy about him, but I think he's progressed as the camp's gone along. And considering how little he's played in the last 2 years, I think you had to be patient with him and still have to be patient with him. But you've got to like that. You talk about Valeno's defensive play. Doc's made a couple of really nice defensive plays his last couple of games.
Mhm.
He's back checking. He's working hard. I think he's in better shape. Like you just look at the. I think somebody
Yes.
posted a photo. How round his face was last year at this time, and
Oh,
a little square. Jaw looks a little squarer than it did last year. you know,
okay. Okay.
uh, he's definitely lost some weight, and the, you know, Gorton hinted at it. I think at the end of last year that hey, the Kirby's got to come back in better condition. He didn't come right out and say that, but that was what the gist of it. And I think he did do that, and it's paying off. Like his start last year, 2 years ago, before his injury, he was playing. I thought he was playing well defensively. He
Mhm.
was down
Yes.
low. He was really helping out the defense a lot.
Yeah,
He's a big boy. He's got some jam. He's got some competitiveness to him. It, but when you're not in shape, and I mean, I can attest to this, Rick. When you're not in shape, it
I
you just can't compete. Uh,
I agree.
at the level that you need to compete at, especially at the NHL level. So he had to get in better shape, and I think he has. And we're starting to see, as he's getting his game legs after a few exhibition games, he's looking a little better each time out. The key to him, we know he's got offensive ability, and that he'll produce as time goes along. It's the work hard, especially in your own zone. Be reliable defensively. Marty will trust him more as time goes along, and he will. And he's another guy that's getting some PK, right? Like he could potentially be a very good penalty killing center um, if he gets that opportunity. And I think Marty realizes that too. And Alex Newhook's another one. Like it, there's a lot of guys getting that addition, and it's going to be by committee more so this year on the
Hmm.
PK. But Dach is another one who can potentially fill that role. What have you thought of Dach?
I thought that it's very obvious even to the eye that he's a lot more comfortable moving around. He's it's more fluid, it's quicker.
Yeah,
It's just he keeps his feet moving a lot more than he did last year. It's incredibly noticeable, and you could tell he was involved in a lot more plays. But I really appreciate the confidence he seems to be having right now. He was engaged quite a bit physically without. No, he's never going to be a bruiser, but he got himself involved trying to get the pucks into the corners and along the walls, and more
yeah,
importantly, I think I noticed that he's holding on to the puck a little more
yeah,
already at this time of the year. He held once or twice, maybe could have gone rid of it, maybe even a little quicker. I think there was a bit of hesitation in his decision making, but not in his willingness to hold on to the puck and wait for a player or wait for a player to get open. It wasn't rushed out like he did last year. So I think we're seeing a much better version of Kirby Dach. I think it's going to be interesting to see how we use him. I know I saw you point out that maybe playing with Gallagher, there's some chemistry there, and I think that might be an interesting guy to play
yeah, yeah,
with Doc, just in a sense that Gallagher will bring out more of that, smash mouth or a little bit more aggressive side to align with the way he plays, and that might rub off a little bit on Doc. And I think that makes a lot of sense what you pointed
yeah.
out.
And maybe the attention to defensive play, defensive details as well, right?
Right.
Um, yeah, if you're in that third slot, you, you're getting told, hey, we want you to concentrate on keeping the puck out of your own net as much as putting it in the other team's net.
Mhm.
And I think they've had some chemistry so far. I've liked the look of those two together. And I was saying this last night to Blaine on our live HabsCast. You might want to
Mhm.
go back and check it, folks. Um, that um, Gallagher's never been a fourth line player, and it was the one thing that when I was looking at lineups where you you see him penciled in as on the fourth line, he scored 20 goals last year, and he does a lot of things other than just scoring goals too that help a team. Uh, uh, it was the one uh, you know thing penciled in where you sort of go, well, I don't know, like does Line deserve to be playing above him 5-on-5 right now? Does even Bolduc, who's got 1 year under his belt, and uh, in the NHL, he's got one 19-goal season. Well, how many 19-goal seasons does Gallagher have? He's
Of
proven
course.
himself over and over again, right? I mean, I think Bolduc will be on his line. That he'll be on the third line, but just he played fourth line last year as a rookie, and what he in his second year he's just going to be ahead of Gallagher in the lineup. It hadn't really proven that he should be ahead of Gallagher in the lineup, and so I'm sort of glad that Gallagher is getting that getting that look on the third line. Line A, Marty has some issues with some of the things he's doing 5-on-5 and trying to get through to him. Okay, you play with Anderson and Evans, two defensively responsible players, and that might actually work too. They Line A and Anderson did some things together last night that they were heavy on the forecheck a couple times. Uh, Anderson can do some slogging in the offensive zone, get some pucks, and get them out to Line A, um, and get it through to Patrick that, hey, we want you to play well away from the puck, and you're going to have to playing on that line with those two because you're not going to be getting. It's not going to be all offense. Josh Anderson isn't going to be feeding you beautiful
No,
passes all game.
no, he won't. I don't think so. No.
Yeah. So
But
I don't. I think that's how. I mean, we're waiting here for the lineups to be the final cuts. They said
yes,
this morning, and it's now 11:28. You know,
yeah,
let's get at her, boys. But you,
yes,
I guess
it's
let's
fine.
predict, and hopefully before the end of the show, because they said morning,
Yeah,
so I expect any minute now. But um, I think Kapanen. Well, we know the top line, and then the second line, Kapanen, Newhook, and Demidov. They sat out the last game in part because I think Marty is comfortable with them playing as a line together, going to start the year together and see how it goes. Do you agree with that?
sure sounds like it. I think I tweeted something out about what Marty St. Louis was raving, but highly complimenting that line, every one of those players, and including Kapanen. He seems to be very impressed and very happy. A certain scout who knows a little thing or two about hockey was saying that for a while now, and I think Marty, being Marty, pays attention to Grant, and
Oh,
he's looking out for Grant's opinion, and Grant was right. Kapanen's been a lot better than most people thought he'd be at the start of the camp, and I think he's earned a spot, right?
I haven't understood the criticisms or the lukewarm. If you watch him closely, you realize how smart he is. And Marty said that exact thing, that he's a complete player, that he understands the game well, that his offensive game is evolving. He can kill penalties. I mean, when a coach says a player at 22 years of age is a complete player, you know that he likes him and that he's
Yeah.
won a spot. He's going to play lots and he's going to help the team win games. That's at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. I think there are a lot of similarities to Dvorak, and I think
Mhm.
that's part of it. Where they're not the flashiest guys all the time. They're not going to Demidov you, you know, wow you with great
Yeah.
flashy dangling and stuff, but they just do so many things well, think the game well, compete, help you win games. So um, Dvorak was never you know the media or fan favorite, and maybe that's what it's going to be like for Kapanen. But certainly and you're the same way. You have to watch a player closely and away from the puck to
Yes.
properly evaluate them. And that's what the coaches do, right? They study the film, they study the video, they see, they can appreciate what all Capman brings to the team. And um, hey, they've given him a top two center role all preseason, and it's finally dawning on people that okay, this guy's made the team, and he's not that bad, you know.
Yeah. I also think that he's not physically aggressive. We're never going to say that he's not a smash mouth player, and people say that and say, well, it's a big problem, and they go overboard about that. And you don't get that same criticism when a guy is really big, aggressive, strong, hard along the boards, and he handles the puck like he's chopping wood.
Yeah.
We seem to be more patient with that.
Yeah.
Look,
Well,
there's not a lot of perfect players in the league that are like big, physically aggressive, great playmakers, great shots. There's just not that many. Instead of focusing on some of the things that he doesn't do, they kind of get, especially with finesse players. Finesse players are always called soft or they lack intensity or they're even playing scared. And it doesn't mean that. It just means that's his game. That's what he does well. And he's going to use his tools as best as he can. He uses
yeah,
his mind, positioning, vision, uh, creativity to make plays.
you're right.
Yeah, he's not going to bowl over a
Well,
6'4" guy and land him on his butt, but he doesn't have to. He'll do other things to be successful. And I think in that sense, Kapanen gets a unfair rap, in my opinion.
right. Well, he's and centers too, right? I mean, wingers need to be aggressive along the boards, to forecheck,
Hmm.
throw hits and stuff. When you're a two-way centerman, you're back in the middle of the ice. You're protecting the neutral zone. You're in your own zone. You're protecting the slot. You you don't want to be running out of position, trying to throw hits and stuff, and then be out of the play, right? Like
Right.
typically a two-way center isn't a bruiser, big hitter. He's like was Thomas Plekanec, who was mentioned by Blaine last night as kind of reminds him a
Oh,
little bit of him. Was he a physical player? No, he wasn't a physical player. He competed,
no.
but
Yeah.
and also I think Kapanen, having watched him for 3 years closely, he goes to the front of the net and takes
Yes.
cross checks, hit. He's very good at standing in the crease. That's where he scored his goal. He very good at tipping pucks. When you're taking cross checks in the back and whacks and the whole works in front of the net, you're not soft. I don't care what you
Right.
know. My definition of soft uh, is different than that. If you will stand in the crease against 6'4", 6'5" NHL defensemen and take the abuse to help your team to screen the goal, to tip pucks, to get rebounds, and Kapanen does it all the time,
Yes.
you're not a soft player, not at all. You're tough. You're
Yeah.
tough. You're brave, and just because you're not out hitting everybody all the time does not mean that you're a soft player by any means. And Europeans too, it's not necessarily bred into them all the time to be going for the big hit all the time. Like that's not. There are hard hitting Europeans, but it's not as ingrained in the culture as it is for Canadian players, for instance, right? So,
Yeah, and you can't do that right in European ice because if you start chasing a player into the
no,
boards, you're far away from the play. Like you're in
right,
real trouble.
right.
It's not the same thing.
I,
That's exactly it.
I'd much rather him be back in the neutral zone, breaking up a 3-on-2 potential 3-on-2, than making the big hit and getting the crowd excited, and then the puck going back the other way and getting in your net. I'll take the smart defensive play over the
Mhm.
over the big hit that puts you out of the play and leads to a 3-on-2 going the other way every time.
Right on, Grant. Quickly, one last thing about yesterday's game. Let's talk about the decor and that horrible game by Adam Engstrom that I pointed out. Right?
Yeah, everybody agrees with you, Rick. Like nobody praised him yesterday.
No, no.
You just wanted
Yeah,
to be a you just wanted to be the contrarian, eh?
yeah. We got controversy creates cash, and we're trying to get some attention. No. Listen, I just want to point that out for people who are asking at the chat yesterday. I said, Ekstrom's been great with the puck. I still think there's a few brain cramps without it here and there, and I think it's just to be clear. I just want to make sure people understand. I'm still saying he's been great. And I think on many teams that are rebuilding, he would probably have a spot in the lineup in the NHL right now. But Montreal's not rebuilding; they're starting to contend now, so they can't. They're not a development phase. That's really all I meant.
Oh,
Not
yeah,
trying to criticize the player as a whole. Just pointing out that the product is getting there, but it's not quite a finished product yet.
yeah. Well, I don't, I didn't. Maybe I missed him or whatever. I don't know that brain cramps is the.
Okay.
Maybe that's a little harsh, but
Okay.
yeah, there were a couple of hiccups, and I think he still needs to get a little stronger and a little more aggressive
Hmm.
defending in his own zone. I think that's something that needs to develop yet, but certainly there were some nice rushes with the puck. He's such a beautiful skater. He a natural skater, very smooth, very mobile. Made some nice rushes. With the pucks when when he doesn't have a brain cramp, he can be very he can be very very effective. And yeah, there's no spot for him right now, uh, especially because the left side's loaded, right? But
Of course.
I don't think he's that far away from the NHL. Whether it's with
No.
Montreal or not might be another question. Maybe he was getting auditioned a little bit for a
Yeah.
future trade. It's hard to say, but uh, Doc and Kapanen have looked decent in camp, and the as far as the a huge need to get a second line center right now, I think maybe the Canadians are fairly comfortable going into the year saying, okay, these guys might be able to do the job. Let's see how it goes, and if it becomes glaringly obvious that they got to get that second line center, then maybe you'll see a deal during the season where they pick up
Yeah.
another pivot somewhere.
Let's move on to the roster, Grant. Who's going to make the team, who's not going to make the team. We're hoping that the Avs will announce it in the next few minutes. It would be
Yeah,
great. We have our eye on that right now. They have if they keep their promise, they have 20 minutes to confirm the roster, if you will.
right.
Um,
Morning.
who do you think goes down in the next few minutes?
Yeah, yeah, presumably. Um, well, uh, I think, Beck, Jack Engstrom, Kakinen. How many cuts are need to be made? Four? Is there?
I think four is the magic number, maybe five actually. So there
Yeah.
might be one more with that, I believe, actually, depending on what the
Did I
roster
say Jack
decisions are going to be. But yeah, you did mention Jack. I think if there's a fifth one, people are talking about maybe Bled being the one who unfortunately doesn't stick around. But I think it might be four actually. So I think you're right. I think
No,
it's gonna be
no,
Beck.
no, no. It must be four because
It must be four. You're right.
there's nobody else there that I could
Yeah.
think of. So, oh,
Yeah, so Beck, Jacky, Engstrom, and Kakinen. In terms of Beck, how far do you think is he from an NHL spot? Would he have made it any other teams in the NHL? What do you think of Beck's overall game during this preseason, Grant?
okay. I just got word from Charles from Club de Hockey Canadien.
Oh,
Should be later this PM. So,
ah,
yeah, not going to be announcing it this morning. I guess
maybe they have a
it's
trade to announce, Grant. Maybe they have a trade to announce.
yeah. I guess they're still haggling.
Yeah,
Um, he should get cut. No, he should get cut. I think it's pretty clear cut who's going to get
yeah,
cut.
I do.
Um, the only one would be maybe Dobish gets sent down, but when you don't allow a goal in preseason, it's kind of tough to cut goalies,
Yeah,
um, even if it wasn't a huge number of minutes. Um,
no,
Beck, I don't know. What's his role? Like with Jake Evans being re-signed, that's sort of his spot, I guess. And it's not there for him. So I don't know. Does he end up being a winger? But So you got to wait for Josh Anderson's contract to be up and maybe replace him. But yeah, you have to think right now, Jacky has jumped ahead of him
Yeah,
in the depth
I
chart
agree. Oh
because
yeah,
the size, toughness angle of it, right? And
yeah,
he even outscored him goal wise last year. He brings more elements to the lineup that are needed than Beck does at this point. Um, I don't know. I think he's. I mean, maybe it's not through any fault of his because the Canadians are deep now. They have a
hmm
deep team. You know, I was looking back at old rosters where they started the season with I don't know Byron Froese and Torrey
those
Mitchell
days.
and Brian Flynn and
Yeah,
you know um, Alice Hemsky,
yeah,
washed up a washed up Mark Streit, and like times
yeah,
have changed, right?
absolutely.
It's the all 12 players are solid NHLers that are going to be playing, and the two guys in the stands, the three guys, the two forwards and the defensemen are all should be playing
Yeah,
regular. So it's it, it's tough right now to crack as a young player to crack the Canadians lineup. There's really only one spot that was up for grabs, and Kapanen's a year older, right? So you expect him to be ahead of Beck in his development, and he is.
hmm
So he lost out to a kid that is a year older, has 2 more years of pro experience than he does.
yeah,
Um, Played playoff games for the Canadians last year, right?
right.
So in that regard, it's nothing he should be upset about or ashamed of. But what we'll need to see from him is continued progression in being smarter with the puck. Uh, I think sometimes he tries to force plays, and he's got to learn at the pro level that maybe what he could get away with at times in junior, it's not going to be the case. Players are a little smarter in the NHL than they are at 16 years old
Yeah.
in junior hockey,
Oh
17.
yeah, yeah,
So some things that you could get away with in junior are not going to fly at this level, and be more of a. He's going to have to be a dump and chase grind type
yeah.
of player. I don't think he has the offensive skill to be a top six NHLer, and that's got to. So he'll have to continue to adapt his game, just as a Valeno is trying to do right now.
Good
A
point.
couple of
Yeah, good
years
connection
older,
there.
you know,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
kind of some similarities there,
yeah.
but
No, that's a good observation.
you know, he's still very young, and it does he have a future in Montreal? I don't know, but there's value there, and certainly there are teams in the NHL that I think he could play on and contribute in a bottom six role very soon.
Yeah. I personally don't think he's a center in the NHL though, unless he gets maybe with experience. I just don't see it because I think trying to play that position forces him to see too many things on the ice and look for too many things. And I think his brain doesn't go quick enough in the NHL for that at this
Maybe,
point. Not saying it's not
maybe,
going to change.
yeah,
Maybe just he might be one of those guys that starts at center in the NHL for like 2 years. And then when he's 27, 28, maybe he becomes a center with enough experience and enough understanding of his game. I think you pointed out well. I mean, Florian Jacky, you know, shown more. And I like the fact that he didn't drop the gloves too much this year. He showed that he could do it, and he showed that he was willing to do it. But he played a lot of hockey, and he played hockey really well.
yeah. Beck has been in a battle with Kapanen. I think, and Kapanen has won that battle. Just I think he's a smarter player at the NHL level, can do more things to help you win hockey games. And Jack has jumped ahead of him too because of his the elements, the physical, the size, physicality elements that he brings, and maybe might, which I wouldn't have said 2 years ago, might be a better goal scorer than Beck. But
Yeah.
he certainly improved his game more in the last 2 years than Beck has. I think Beck's peak kind of was that first training camp where he almost made the Canadians and really
Yeah.
impressed Marty. And
Yeah.
you know, I don't know that he's ever looked better at a Habs camp than he did his very first camp, and that's unfortunate. But um, yeah, I'm not. He's very young, and just like Joshua Waugh, you don't write them off at this point. These
Mhm.
are going to have to be pivotal years for them. They're going to have to become uh, elite AHL players if they want to get another shot, and
For sure.
hopefully they do that. They have great years in Laval and make the Habs say, okay, we need to give these guys uh, legitimate shots at the NHL level.
Yeah, and quickly about Florian Jack, I appreciate that he hasn't run around headhunting, although he's shown that he's willing to drop the gloves and to stand up for his teammates. But it's great when you got a guy who brings that physicality, but doesn't feel a desperate need to bring that physicality where he's just running around with no rhyme or reason. He still keeps his wits about him. I find personally that's the one thing that impressed me about Jack Guy.
Yeah, yeah, and um, I think that well, he was like that in the OHL and AHL too. He only had 8 fights the last 2 years. You
Oh
know,
wow!
yeah,
Oh, I didn't think it was that low. That's
it,
surprising.
yeah. He had 4 fights last year. That 175 penalty minutes that he got, like
Hmm.
90 of them were game misconducts, or 10-minute
so,
misconduct.
so he doesn't keep his wits about him all the time, but he doesn't drop the gloves needlessly either.
No, well, I mean, it doesn't hurt his team when you get a
Yeah. Oh, I
misconduct,
get it.
other than the fact that you're sitting in the box for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But
Right.
uh, yeah, he can be a little silly at times, but that's the Jack eye in him, I think. You
Yeah.
know,
We love about him, right?
they like they like to get involved in the scrums
Yeah.
after, but a lot of times it's sticking up for
Yeah.
teammates, and I like that. You know,
Oh, I do.
you need those guys in the lineup that keep the other team honest. I think.
I agree. Now we're going to talk about other cuts, the sister team or the junior team or the American Hockey League team, whatever you want to call it for Montreal. The Laval Rockets cut a few players to go play in Three Rivers. Players that I didn't think were so bad, to be honest with you. Some of them I was a little bit surprised by reading one or two names. Any observations, Grant, about who the Laval Rockets cut?
Yeah. Well, when you look at the roster that remains, the 23 names, they're
Yeah,
like, I don't see too many guys that are going to be cut yet. They still have to make a couple, I guess. But yeah, these guys. I mean, I think they were all on the cusp, you know.
I do agree.
But um, I really like Dunlap in the
Okay.
and I thought he outplayed these guys at the camp, the like
Yeah,
Denina, Stapa, Goryanov, and Mianskum. Just he brings that extra that speed element, right?
yeah.
And I don't mind that he. If you'd asked me uh, after the rookie tournament, which guy I thought would stand out of this group of
Mhm.
forwards, which one stood the best chance of maybe making Laval, I would have picked Dunlap. So I don't disagree with the choices. Um,
Mhm.
I don't mind Deneen and Estapa. They bring some physical elements there, but the two defensemen, no problem there. I don't think
No,
that was a. But
no,
Trois-Rivières is going to be a very strong. It's
yeah,
gonna, they won the cup last year, and I think they're going to be. I mean, those are, there's a couple of guys there that I think could play in the AHL. So just like with Montreal, they're deep. Laval's going to be deep too, and thus it means Trois-Rivières will be a contender again at the ECHL level, I believe.
yeah, and they're led by a coach and GM Ron Scholes, who's a
Oh,
coaching lifer, right? One of those old school guys, right? That we've got to know very well in the Quebec
right.
Maritime Junior Hockey League.
Yeah, for sure. No, yeah, they've got good mentorship at all three levels, and that's important. The goaltending is going to be very good.
Hmm.
It, you know, they've still got Mandalese
Yeah,
uh,
Montreal.
in Laval. The other two got sent down, but so I mean, what are they going to go with three goalies in Laval or in Trois-Rivières? It'll be interesting to see that because there's one going to be cut today,
Yeah.
Montreal. You got Fowler, you got Mandalese, and then you got the two goalies that are, the uh, Gaudreau and Jones, who are decent goalies too.
Yes.
So I don't know. I guess one of them will end up getting cut at the end of the day, but
Yeah, I would think so.
maybe it'll be Mandalese because he's on a tryout. And
Right.
you don't always know, right? But that
Yeah, I
that's
think
interesting.
it may also depend on the player who does get cut. Going to play in the ECHL with the contract situation, being difficult. Maybe some players might say, "I'd rather not go in there." And with Kevin Mandalese, I think being a Quebec-born goaler probably might be a little bit more willing to go to Three Rivers than somebody who's from Alberta, let's say. But
Maybe, yeah,
you know,
yeah. That's a good point. We'll see.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah,
So the fun portion of the show, Grant. Who is our HabsCast? Habs Prospect of the Week, my friend.
yeah. It can be nice when there's a actual name, like a company name in front of that. We're working on.
Yeah, we got to get that.
Yeah, yeah. Working on it. I've got somebody that's a definite maybe, but yeah,
Oh, I'm happy to hear that.
yeah. HabsCast, Habs Prospect of the Week. Um, well, we're gonna go with the fellow that got 7 points this weekend. It's hard not to give the nod to Mr. Michael Hage. Here is he had 2 goals, 3 assists in his first game. Here he is on the uh, left hand side along the wall. He kind of runs the you know quarterbacks the power play. There's a nice. Or these are actually his 2 assists from the last night. Sorry about that. We'll start with that first. But here he is. He's the guy that carries the puck in on the slingshot. This was a 5-on-3, so it was 2 points last night were assists on the power play. Now we're looking at the first game where he had 5 points. Nice for him to see him win that draw to Horikoff. Horikoff's off to quite a start, 5 goals
Yeah.
his first 2 games, and here he is going to the net, like the speed, like that. That was a nice goal. That's probably the one that impressed me the most. But there too, that was like a slav pass, right?
Yeah. Right.
The instant second hot potato on a stick, right? And there was a
He
second
really
goal.
does. Moves
Yeah,
it quick.
he does, and I don't mind that either. But I mean, there was again a nice behind the back kind of no look pass. Uh, so that yeah, it was Mercyhurst, and yeah, his points came when the game was already in hand, and quite a few of them were on the power play. So I don't get crazy excited about it, but still, 7 points. Your first weekend of college hockey. I haven't looked at the scoring leaders, but I'm assuming he's number one right now. him and Horkoff are right at the top.
Right.
I think probably.
Right. Yeah.
You know, whoever plays Mercyhurst next, maybe jumps ahead of them, the scoring leaders. But they showed no mercy, I guess you could say.
Oh, jeez. I was
They're
waiting
gonna
for that.
they're gonna have to call the Hearst for that team anyway. Yeah, it's
Oh man. Oh man. But
thank you.
you've always taught me, Grant, and I learned a lot from you. Is you don't always look at the results or how many goals they scored or not, but you look at how they play. Are they moving quick? Are they moving the puck quickly? He did those things, right? He's
Yeah,
looks like he's still even gone even a little faster. He looks physically a little stockier to me, and maybe it's hard to tell on video, but he does look a little bit like he's grown a little bit more.
he
So
has.
there's
Yeah,
there's there's reasons why he had such a big game that are
yeah,
independent of the opponent, but really about how well the player is continuing to develop. And
yeah.
we knew it'd be a bit longer in his case. He was very frail when he was picked, and he
True.
had come back from a few injuries. And the main thing is that he's developing all the time. He's getting a little better every year, and that's what you hope, right?
Yeah, no, like we saw it at development camp. I think you noticed that his little more meat on his forearms and
Mhm.
and stuff. He was pretty skinny at his first development camp, and a little bit of muscle added every year, not too much, but yeah, he. I I'm putting up a lot of films, video scouting videos up on my Patreon page there.
Mhm.
You go to Patreon HabsCast and you'll see it, and it's only $5 a month for membership. Uh, I think I put up 13 videos in the last week or something like that. And now
Amazing
that
work.
these guys are just getting started, getting rolling, there's going to be all sorts of Papanicus, Papanak, Papanicus. No, that's it.
Panicus, that's what I was told. Yes, the non-Greek guy with the Greekest name I've known.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. You know, um, all of these guys are just getting going. Papanicus, I talked to his coach. I think he's back next weekend, which will
Oh,
be
great.
cool. Um, so there's going to be tons of video, but I'm going to have a close look at Hage's every shift, and especially his play away from the puck, because that's what I'm most interested in, seeing how he's doing on draws, how he is playing away from the puck, because we know he's got the offensive skills. He's got NHL skill level all day. It's how his game is evolving. 200-foot game that's going to be key to him being ready to make the step to vie for an NHL spot, especially at center. So I'll be breaking down the tape of the two games this week, and putting up a good scouting video on Patreon. I also
That's
have
awesome.
a couple other quick ones here. Um, if you don't mind, I will show here.
Absolutely.
Here is Koivu's goal. I love this. Did you see that yesterday?
Oh, yes, I did. I did. That it's wild.
Yeah, but what I really loved is just this part here. Boom, give me that puck, and then
Wow.
that's in Liga. I loved it. This
Oh,
you know that's some of the old man's spunk there, right? But in a six
wow.
one, but in a 6'1" body, not a 5'10". No, no,
Fantastic.
yeah, that goal. And here's Mooney's first college goal last night. There he is.
Great
You gotta love
placement.
you gotta love Mooney. Congratulations to little John getting getting his first. Oh, yeah, and this is Zorowski today. I got this about an hour ago. His is his assist today. Look at that pass, eh?
Wow.
He's got points in every game that he's played so far this year.
That was wild.
Nice. Um,
That's
He,
wild.
I think UFA was 0-4 without him to start the year, and now they're 2-1 with him in the lineup. So not bad when a teenager can turn around your team, eh? KHL level.
Fantastic.
He's
Very, very impressive.
he's very promising prospect. I liked him and I ranked him top 25 going into the going into the draft
Yeah,
last year. So
yeah.
I had absolutely no issue with him getting picked in the second round by the Canadians, but he's looking like he maybe should have been a top 20 pick even. So that's encouraging start.
Well, fantastic, Grant. Thanks for those videos. I know Habs fans really appreciate it. And as Grant says, you go on to Patreon, you become a member of our community for only $5 a month, really barely noticeable amount. But you can watch these kind of videos all the time. Grant's gonna put them up. He's gonna break it down for you. And if you have somebody you want him to keep an eye on for you, Grant will do that. He will. He'll and you could watch these guys over and over again during the season and see how they're developing, and kind of be the first to point out in your circle of friends about the next Habs star player that's going to be on their roster in a few years. You'd be the first to know, my friends. So really go on this YouTube page, subscribe, and even check us out on Spotify. Right, we have some people like to walk their dogs and listen to Spotify. Well, we're there too. We're building a community, folks, and we want you to be a part of it. And we promise it'll be a lot of fun, and it'll be very informative.
Absolutely. And just one last word there.
Yes,
Bonachère
sir.
Caves, Eganville, Ontario. They are a private, family owned business run by hockey fans. Number is 613-628-2283. They are open for one more week, and it's beautiful up here in the valley right now with the leaves all turned red, different colors. Beautiful. It's a beautiful week. The weather, tomorrow's still going to be like 27 degrees, crazy
Yeah,
warm. Get up to Eganville before they close next weekend, Thanksgiving weekend, and check out the caves. I guarantee you won't regret it.
that's amazing. And we thank Bonachère Caves. I've seen the pictures. I can't wait to go. That's going to be on my to-do list. A lot of stuff going on in my life right now, but that's going to be one of those places I really want to go with the family. It's absolutely beautiful, and the reviews are amazing. The scenery is wonderful. The people are extremely kind.
They are.
Just a wonderful day to spend with the family. Get out there. We love our social media, but we should get out there in the air. And Bonachère Caves is a fantastic option, folks. Thank you for putting the videos together, and we look forward to doing this again next week, right, sir?
Sounds good. Thanks, Rick.
Have a nice day, everyone.
The final cuts are in. I figured I better add this to the end of the podcast. I was actually editing this when word came up from on high from the Habs brass that they had made their last 5 cuts before the regular season starts. And gone are Sammy Blais, Adam Engstrom, Capo Kakkonen, Owen Beck, and Florian Jacki. No surprises there. I mean, if you'd asked me 5 cuts, Veleno makes the team over Blais. So the 2 guys that I predicted would be the 12th and 13th forwards in Kapanen and Veleno are indeed the 12th and 13th forwards. Blais and Kakkonen are on waivers, so they may be picked up by another team, but most likely heading down to Laval. Teams have 13 decent forwards right now as a rule, so they're not looking for somebody like Sammy Blais, I don't think, to add to their team. They think they've got decent squad at the end of camp. He's a good bet to go down. Kakkonen, less likely of that. He might get picked up in waivers, but that wouldn't be the end of the world either. Fowler, Dobish, Monty are the 3 goalies that are going to, they're the main goalies this year for the Canadians and going forward as well. You can't fault Florian Jacki in any regard. He did everything in his power to make the team. Kudos to him for being what likely was the final cut. He had a fantastic training camp, and he's let the Canadians know in no uncertain terms that he wants a job on the team sooner rather than later. No shame at all in him going back to Laval for his second pro season, only his second. This is a kid that was never drafted in the OHL and went undrafted in first NHL draft. So for him to almost make the Canadians and be basically the final cut in only his second year as a pro just is a testament to how far he has come in the last 3 years. And he'll go back down to Laval and help them become even stronger than they were last year when they almost made it to the Calder Cup final, losing in the semifinals. So the Beck, I didn't think had an especially strong camp. He will be going down for his second pro season as well. And those two guys are going to be key parts of Laval being a contender again this season, I believe. Adam Engstrom, we knew he wasn't going to make the team. There's 5 left defensemen on the squad out of the 7, and he was behind both Struble and Jacki in the depth chart. So kudos to him as well for making it to the final cuts. He's not far away. There are teams that if he was waiver eligible would be picking him up today. And the same likely goes true for Beck as well, and definitely for Jacki. All 3 of those guys, if they were waiver eligible, likely would be on other teams right now. So it bodes well for their future as NHL players, regardless of whether it's with the Canadians or not. Again, no surprise. These are the guys. I had Oliver Kapanen making the team, and he had a very strong camp. I thought he showed that he's ready to play not only a regular role but a top 9 role with the Canadians, and it looks like it's going to be at center. You can call it the second line or the third line, what have you. He's starting the season on a line with Alex Newhook and Ivan Demidov on what looks like a promising young line. I think that that line has a lot of different components to it that will make them a decent line in the NHL this year. Now, whether they stay together all year or not likely, but I think Marty intends on keeping Kapanen and Demidov together as a duo of some sort, whether it be another winger that ends up playing with them at some point or not. Like the cuts, like the fact that they're going with 13 forwards, Sammy Blais wouldn't have been a bad guy to have on the taxi squad, but hey, there's an injury or whatever. If Anderson goes down, Blais the likely choice to be called up, unless it's Jacki, one of the two. I think they're the most likely guys to get the first call from Laval if and when there are injuries. But that's a solid squad. I think it's the deepest team that the Canadians have started the season with in a long time, and this squad holds a lot of promise. I'm looking forward to the regular season. Let's get going there this week. Go to Toronto, start it off with a big win, and go from there.